Hello, it's Ashley with At Home with Ashley. I have been working on my playroom. I painted it like a month ago and it needed some texture, some personality. I'll show you the before video because it's cute, but I just really wanted to add some wallpaper. So I'm doing Grasscloth wallpaper and I've never worked with Grasscloth wallpaper, but I really wanted to. So I'm trying it out and I thought I would tell you everything I've learned. Okay, so what is Grasscloth wallpaper? So it's wallpaper made with grass. Obviously, well, it's not so obvious. It's like sisal or raffia, like lots of different types of grass that is then hand woven onto a paper backing, and this makes it very expensive. It also gives it this rich, beautiful texture so that it feels like thick and inviting, and it gives a room a lot of depth. It's a very high-end designer look because it is handmade, so it is very expensive. It's like 2 to 3 times more expensive than regular wallpaper. You can also get a vinyl version that's a lot cheaper, but you won't get as nice of texture. It is easier to clean though. So when you're hanging Grasscloth wallpaper, here's some things you need to consider. Number one, do not put it in a bathroom or anywhere with a lot of humidity because it's more of a delicate surface and it's very absorbent because of the grasses, so it'll just get ruined and destroyed with water and spills because it's not wipeable. So I wouldn't put it in any high traffic areas or a kitchen or a bathroom, so just don't even think about it there. It's really cute behind like a bookcase. Like, I think it'd be so nice to have Grasscloth here. My walls are really textured though, so that's probably not going to happen. And you can do it on an accent wall or you can do it on a whole room. So I'm just doing it on the angles of my ceiling because I thought that would be a nice place and a place where little hands won't touch it. So when you are hanging the Grasscloth wallpaper, you need to be really careful because if you get the paste on the front of the wallpaper, it can stain it. So I was very careful. So what I did was I rolled the wallpaper adhesive onto the back, and I was very generous with how much I did. And then I folded it over, and that's called booking the wallpaper. And you let it sit like that for 2 to 5 minutes. It's really quick. So while that was sitting, I went back into the playroom and I used some more of the wallpaper adhesive and I just painted where the seams will go, because when you're rolling it on, it's easy to, like, it's hard to get all the way to the edges, and because I didn't want to get any on the front, I didn't want to get any on my table and have that stain other pieces. So the edges honestly didn't quite get it on the very end, so I just went and put paste on the edges, and that worked so good. I've heard of people having a very hard time keeping the Grasscloth wallpaper up because it is heavier, but I had no problem with that. I pasted the back like I said, I booked it, and then I went to put it on the wall and it hung just really nice. One really tricky thing with Grasscloth wallpaper that I couldn't really get my mind around was that you're supposed to hang it on the wall and then overlap the next piece, and then you trim both, and then you're supposed to pull the edges from both sides and have this perfectly placed wallpaper, and I just couldn't understand how to do it. Because it is complicated, most wallpaper companies suggest hiring a wallpaper installer for Grasscloth. So it's a delicate wallpaper, so they figure when it gets shipped, the edges will get frayed, and so you need to trim them off. So what I did, instead of like hanging it and cutting it on the wall, was I measured and I cut it while it was on my table, and that worked so good for me. So it's like a little bit of a hack. It's not the professional or correct way to do it, but it worked really nice for me. The only thing is if you at all like go crooked with your scissors, you're gonna see when you put it on the wall, there will be like a small gap. So you just have to be very precise and very careful. I used a straight edge to get it nice and straight, and that worked great. Also with Grasscloth wallpaper, you should know that you will see the seams. So because I knew that, like, it's just part of Grasscloth wallpaper, I wasn't too worried about trimming it like that, and it worked out great for me. So that's something to consider, is you could just hire a wallpaper installer, but I'm too cheap for that. It was already like over $1,000 in wallpaper, so I'm like, I'm just gonna hang it myself. And I have done lots of wallpaper hanging. Every room in my house has wallpaper in it that I've hung myself, so I felt confident. This is the trickiest wallpaper to hang, so if you haven't hung traditional wallpaper, I wouldn't suggest starting with Grasscloth because it's a little too complicated for that. When I first started installing the wallpaper on each wall, I got my laser level out, and it's so important when you're wallpapering to make sure to start with a straight line. So since I butt my wallpaper up to each other, I just start with the one straight line. I hang my wallpaper, make sure it goes right on that line, and then the next piece goes right next to it. And this just makes it so it's straight all the way across, especially with stripes. This is important because if they're going like this, your eye is going to notice, and then this is an expensive project and you don't want to be a big fail with it. So use that laser level, it is worth it. So once you get in the flow of hanging the wallpaper, it's really actually monotonous because you're just doing the same thing over and over again. You're trimming the pieces, you're pasting the wall, you're pasting the wallpaper, and then you're hanging it. But it is still so amazing to me how fast a room can like be transformed with wallpaper. It adds so much, especially the grasscloth wallpaper. I wanted to tell you about the origins of grasscloth wallpaper. So it was first found in China 2,000 years ago. Archaeologists have found it on the walls of homes there, and they actually used it for insulation because it's so nice and thick, and also for decorations, and they used it on rice paper. So I thought that was really cool to hear about. So grasscloth wallpaper came to the United States and became really popular in the 60s and 70s. That was like the hippie era. So anything eco-friendly like grasscloth wallpaper became very popular. And then it was more neutral options, really like the beiges and the creams, because that's how it came naturally. And so that got really popular. Now you can get it in like any color under the rainbow. You can get it in a lot of patterns. Mine is from Spoonflower, so you can, any of their like thousands and thousands and thousands of wallpapers on their site, you can choose grasscloth as an option. You can also get it at high-end companies or anywhere you get wallpaper like Wayfair, Home Depot, or Ballard Designs. Lots of places carry it, so if you want it, you can definitely find something that will match your house. Like I said, any color, any pattern, and you can just get that nice texture, which I love. I unfortunately ran out of wallpaper on my very last strip, so I actually don't have the walls totally finished, but I did want to show you how the room is looking now because I think it's so fun. This is a playroom, it's supposed to be fun, and I really like how it looks. I kind of changed the color of the ceiling, changed the color of the doors, and I just did like a few updates because I was so excited by how the wallpaper really transformed the space. I wanted the whole thing to feel amazing, and I really like how it looks. I'm just sad that my last piece of wallpaper, I didn't have quite enough. Anyway, I hope you like this video on how to hang grass cloth. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer. I also have a blog post that walks through more details if you're into like a written tutorial, and I will link the wallpaper and all the tools I use in case you have any need for that. Those will be in the description, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That way I know to make more wallpaper videos just for you.